Check it out. Let me tell you one.
Freedom for all!
What is up, my MMA brothers and sisters? Welcome to a special episode of Let's Talk MMA. Today, I actually have a fighter who his name is Max Poulin or Maxime Poulin. He's actually 3-0 right now in his pro career. He's about to fight very soon at Hard Knocks Fighting number 53. And basically what I'm doing right now is I'm looking at a lot of the up-and-comers. I mean, it's really much the way I see it, our future. These guys, whether they're going to be on Fight Pass in certain events, kind of like Oliver in an episode that I did before with TKO MMA. I mean, we're going to be able to start actually seeing a lot of these fights a little bit easier, and these guys' names are just going to start getting mixed in. So I'm looking out for them. I have the honor to interview him today and just kind of chat with him. And what I'm looking forward to is, you know, not only is he 3-0 now, everything's looking good. I'd like to see kind of where he came from, what are his goals, because down the line, you know, those goals I bet will be reached by many of these MMA fighters. So I'm excited to talk with him today. So without further ado, let me give him a call and let's get to know him. Max Poulin. Hello, Max.
Hi, Ru.
Hello, Max. So I just gave you a small little intro to everybody. And my biggest thing that I kind of am telling a lot of people, which you may know a little bit, is that I'm looking for a lot of fighters that are starting their career. You know, in the way that everything is growing, like there's an event actually called TKO MMA, maybe you've heard of, that's actually out in Canada.
Yeah.
For them to be on Fight Pass, I thought was actually a big thing because it's going to open up a large audience that's going to be able to see these fights, and they're going to be able to get to know all of these fighters a little bit earlier in their career.
Yep.
So for me, you have a great start, and we're going to talk about that. You're currently in your pro record is 3-0, and basically a little bit to kind of get to know more about you. You have a fight coming up as well, so I'm excited to kind of, you know, pick your brain a little bit. But right off the bat, how about you tell us about how you got into MMA? I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is kind of your main fighting style, but how did everything get started?
Yeah, when I was young, I was doing Japanese, like Jiu-Jitsu, and then later on, I just see like a lot of people. I see Royce Gracie and Rickson Gracie in Japan, and I was like, oh, it's like I was in love with it, and I want to start doing Jiu-Jitsu, and it begins like that.
Awesome. How old were you when you started training?
19, almost 20. I begin late.
Oh, okay.
Like for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and yes.
Awesome. Now, currently, as far as your with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I mean, nowadays I've noticed that there are some gyms that are just Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but nowadays they're starting to mix it up with Muay Thai or just MMA training specifically. And from your Instagram is kind of how we ran into each other. I saw that you also are now training at TriStar. Tell us about that.
Yes. The training and the teaching at TriStar is it's perfect. It's the best. Like Firas and all the guys, the pro out there, this is the place.
Gotcha. I mean, everybody kind of knows TriStar because of GSP and many other fighters, of course.
Yeah.
But you also train at SureBox. What kind of training do you do there?
I do MMA, a lot of MMA and grappling. I do less often Jiu-Jitsu nowadays, but MMA and grappling, but mostly MMA.
Gotcha. But you also started in your amateur career. You started actually boxing, which is interesting because I figured maybe you did some jiu-jitsu tournaments, but you actually did boxing.
Yeah, no, I did a lot of jiu-jitsu tournament too.
Okay.
I did a lot of jiu-jitsu tournament. Then when I did want to go to the MMA, I was like, I want to put myself in worse spot. So I just like let's go do boxing, like just pure
Like the opposite,
boxing.
the opposite
Yeah,
of
the opposite.
jiu-jitsu.
Just fist fight, and so yeah, to basically to learn and you know, do the switch and become well-rounded as much as I can.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That makes perfect sense. Well, let's actually, you're fighting at 145 pounds. That's your most comfortable weight class?
Yeah, featherweight. Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, that's becoming a very popular weight class. It used to be 155 lightweight, but 145,
Yeah.
you know, is one of the most interesting nowadays also. But let me go ahead and go into your amateur fights really quick. So February 12th, 2010, you fought Marc Olivier Reset, and you beat him by submission choke. I don't know what choke it was. Do you remember what choke was it exactly?
Rear naked choke.
Okay, and that was in the second round for a event called Team Legion.
Yeah.
Very good. And then you got hit with 2 cancellations in a row. October of 2013, a canceled bout with David Miller. And then you turned pro after that. And May 10th of 2013, a canceled bout with Mario Pereira.
I trained with him and now.
How does that feel? I mean, I can only like when I was looking at your record, you know, I put myself in your shoes, you know, and you're starting your amateur. You start off with a great submission choke, so that must feel great. You keep training, and then you have 2 cancellations. I mean, what does that do to you? You know, what kind of things? Why do these things kind of happen?
My first MMA amateur fight was I didn't even start MMA. I was just like some guys asked me if I want to try like amateur MMA with the big glove and chin pads. I was like, oh, let's try it. I'm gonna test my jiu-jitsu, and I just go like this. I didn't like with the no striking like background or sparring. I just
Sure. I mean, look at Damian Maia. Damian Maia is one of my favorite people to watch right now because
he is my favorite fighter right now. Like really.
And he should get a title shot, shouldn't he?
Yeah, of course.
Well, maybe when he does get that title fight or something like that, maybe we can talk MMA about that because that'll be exciting. But let's keep it moving. So then, after that little bump in the road, June 6, 2015, you this is your first pro fight with Dominic Leclerc.
Yeah.
And that's LAMMQ. And you win by submission choke again, second round. What submission choke was this one?
Rear naked choke too.
Very good, very good. Now with that one there, you're now 1-0, and this is where I felt was actually even more exciting. Your next fight versus Thomas Samantri. This is October 2015. Again, you win by decision after 3 rounds. But his record was actually 2-1, so going into it, you kind of knew you were going against somebody with a little more experience.
Yeah. And it was a good fight. Like I attempt some submission, but he was a very tough dude. Like he was not there to quit, and even with the ground and pound, and tough dude.
Awesome. Do you remember, like, I actually tried looking for these fights, but maybe on these, you know, Hybrid Pro Series and the LAMMQ, I'm figuring that this is not televised or recorded somewhere.
Yeah, I have a copy of one of them, I think.
Gotcha, but it's not something that's easy to find. It seems like.
It's not like TKO, but yeah, TKO is on UFC Fight Pass. But I'm gonna fight with the TKO. I have a contract with them.
I actually found your name there as well. So as I was doing all of my research here, I saw that you were on the website because I was looking for what your next fight was, and I thought it was with TKO. But we'll get to that in a moment. So now you're 2-0. You go May 21st, 2016. You fight Lou Cassans, which is your last fight, right? And
Yep.
win by decision, 3 rounds. And again, you're fighting somebody who was 3-3, 6 fights in as far as experience. And this was a catchweight at 150. Why was that?
Yeah, we just like it was last minute a bit, but I just asked, and so we don't have to cut the weight because I knew he was a 145 pound fighter, and I am too. So we just did it that way.
You just agreed to do 150, and that's the way
Yeah.
it went.
Yeah.
Now that fight I didn't get to see either, so you did win by decision. How did that fight go? How did that one play out a little bit? I did see that you, I want to say you put it on your Facebook though, a clip of it.
It was more my second fight that I put on Facebook, but I always do a little clip on Facebook of my fight.
Sure.
It did go well. It was a hard fight, maybe my hardest, and yeah, he defend well, but I still like go through him and take the best position and everything, you know.
Very good, very good. Well, let's go straight to what we're now looking for, what you're training for right now. So, January 27th, 2017, right? Coming very soon, about 2 weeks. You're going to fight Nick Burnham.
Yep.
And this is for the event Hard Knocks Fighting number 53 in Calgary. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Is this something that we'll be able to watch somewhere? Do you know if it's going to be televised or anything like that?
Yes, I think a stream gonna be like a, you know, a stream gonna be available.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so everybody can see the show on internet
Sweet.
live.
Yeah, because I'm definitely going to want to watch it for sure.
All right.
Is it the website Hard Knocks Fighting? Is that where we should
Yes.
take a look?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, well, that does lead me to TKO MMA. So I spoke with Oliver Nadoud. I think he actually is 145 as well. And he's fighting, I think, in April. So even on TKO MMA, it doesn't look like they have their events fully scheduled yet. But like you said, you have a contract with them. Do you know when you might end up fighting with them, or right now it's still trying to get figured out?
Maybe in April too will be fine for me.
Okay.
Just take that fight right now because I have nothing going on this month. So I knew the next show will be on April, so that's why I took this fight, and I look to fight at TKO in April.
Fantastic. Well, out of what I kind of saw, and I think this is pretty normal when you start your career, you obviously try to get as many fights as you can, but you know, depending on however your life is, you know, maybe you can't necessarily always fight 3 times a year like a full professional. But is that kind of what you're looking for this year? Kind of trying to get more fights within the year?
Yeah, 3 will be perfect. 3, 4 it's a lot, especially with the work, but 3 will be fine for me. I would like to do 3.
Awesome.
If
So you
everything
basically train
go
full time.
well, of course.
So you basically train full time at this point.
Right now, yes, but during the summer, I work a little bit more.
Yeah.
And a little bit less in the winter.
Well, that'll be the goal for me. Hopefully, you know, with getting your name out there, having people kind of know who you are. Also, obviously, having good performances, and that's always, of course, important. But January 27th, that's the next time we'll be able to see you fight. With TKO MMA, I'm excited for you because for me, it being on Fight Pass, I'm a Fight Pass member, so obviously it's so easy for me to look at it, but I know that there's such a big amount of people that are going to start seeing it, and I feel like those are going to be the fighters that are going to then come into the UFC, and then that's what leads me to my final question for you, Max. What are your goals? Like, what do you see in your future? Obviously, this is still the beginning of your career, but what are your goals? Tell us what you plan to reach and you know, what you see for yourself.
To be honest, I just want to go as far as I can and always improve, always learn first, then go as far as I can. I didn't even make one precise goal, just
keep going.
What I like about it, it's the lifestyle, you know, to go. I love to go do some sparring, train. After that, you feel great and you repeat it every day. And I just really enjoy the lifestyle. That's why at one point I was like, why do you don't why don't I try to do this like as a professional? You know, I like to do this every day, so
Yeah.
that's what bring me to the professional MMA circuit.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it exactly, but with going into TKO MMA, I think really that's going to be a big step in the biggest goal is if each fight and if you can make obviously money to live and you can just train would be the main thing, and you're now doing what you love and making a living. And that's what I love about martial arts. And I think you gave a great answer, because with martial arts, it's always being your personal best, right? And there's always room to improve. There's always more to learn. There's always experience from wins and losses. And so that's why I love following MMA, just because I see whether it's ups and downs, people getting right back on the horse and just fighting their way through their career is exciting. And I hope that maybe in a year or two, when you do get higher in the rankings and everything, we can look back to this video and just say, wow, look at where we started, right?
I hope to.
Well, I believe it, and if you believe it, it'll happen. And I think we've seen plenty of times with fighting or fighters, if they see it, they believe it, it tends to happen. So I really hope the best for you. I appreciate you coming on. I know it happened kind of quick, but I truly appreciate it to give me this opportunity to get to know you a little bit better and let more people get to know you.
Thanks a lot. It's I'm very glad to have the opportunity.
For sure. Well, I'm sure maybe I'll bug you sometime later, maybe even after your fight. Maybe we can just touch base a little bit about it. And I look forward to seeing you fight and seeing your career grow.
Super, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right, Max. Well, until next time, thank you again, and we'll keep in touch, okay?
Perfect. Thanks a lot for the opportunity, and goodbye.
Thank you, Max. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.
All right. Well, that's awesome. That is awesome. I mean, for me to see these fighters at this stage, I mean, even for him, he's 3-0. I like he's very level-headed, I mean, sometimes fighters might be like, I'm taking it to the top. I am the best, and then some people are very humble. And that's how I felt right now about him. He's very humble. He seems to be very realistic of where he's at. And he's just going to keep going with the flow. And that's what people should do, low stress, stay focused, and give it your best. And that's the feeling I got out of him. And I'm glad to have met him now, and I'm excited for his fight. It's coming in 2 weeks. So Hard Knocks Fighting, number 53. Check out their website. I haven't actually looked at it yet. I wasn't too sure if it was going to be streamable or how it works. But then from there, he's going into TKO MMA. That's going to be a big deal. I really think with the whole Fight Pass connection that they have, this is where people from Canada and whoever fights for them, people are going to be seen, and that's how we're going to get them into the UFC, into the big guys. But he's just starting his career. Obviously, I'm sure he wants to get some more experience under his belt, but he's at TriStar, SureBox. He's obviously doing all of the right things, so I'm excited for it. So I hope you like this special little episode that I did just for Max Poulin. Take a look out for him. You can also check him out on Instagram. I'll leave his information in the description below. But until next time, peace.